new member, and we had 3 guests, and the new member brought, well, hadn't actually been inducted yet. He was inducted that day, but he brought a
Yay.
guest too. So we hope that's, a definite move. We have more people that are seem to be coming out of the woodworks and wanting to get involved again, and that's really a good thing.
Well, I think after post-COVID, we're all ready to just get back into any form of normal.
Right.
Whatever that is anymore, right?
Well, we're kind of reinventing it, aren't we?
We are.
Let's see. Sorry, while I do my administrative thing here, letting people in. Okay, let's see. Okay. Admit. Admit. See, Steve,
Yeah.
they all come scooting in. Steve was 6 minutes early and he thought it was just going to be a 2-person meeting. I went, oh, you silly person.
Coin shoes, Steve.
Well, it was going to be a meeting with Steve and Rotary, so.
Yeah, whoever that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Let's see. Chat. What's the chat say?
I think that was probably,
Technical difficulties. Okay. That was Bev.
yeah.
Okay. Take that off. And Bev's trying to come back in. Diane's here from Grants Pass. Welcome, Janice from Brookings. Robbie's from Lakeview.
You made it, Bev.
Look at the size of our district. Pretty cool. Jill's from Jacksonville, Applegate. Mimi's from Medford. Steve's from a real club in Madras.
So he's got the only real club, huh?
Yeah. Well, I accused him of being a virtual club.
Yeah.
And he denied it.
And by the way, Christine, my name is Janice.
Janice, thank you. Sorry.
Oh, do not apologize.
Oh, but I'm going to because
my whole life.
yeah, I bet. And feel free to correct me because I don't make any pretense of being correct.
Or perfect.
Looks like Patty made it. Bev, looks like you made it this time, huh? Yay. Are you all going to be at the club training assembly?
I have a question about that. For some reason, I have it on my calendar for the 22nd.
No, it's the 29th.
The 29th. Why do I have
Friday
it on
the 29th is the training assembly in Corvallis, and the 30th, let me make sure I'm saying the right because I don't want to be incorrect again.
No,
Yes,
that's right.
and the 30th is the celebration, the kind of the year-end celebration, or what that used to be called that. And we're doing it live and in person. And the membership, I've been tasked with giving a membership program called Membership Success, whatever that means, right? And we'll talk about that. I thought I would just do a live forum for those of us that can be there in person. That would be so cool. So if you're there,
No.
what?
It's not a hybrid session anyway, is it?
No, but I imagine they'll record it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I hope to be able to meet some of you live and in person. Jill, are you coming up?
we were planning on it and we could not find a place close
Oh,
to campus. And I know you have a B&B.
I'm
but
20 miles out of town.
Well, then that's the problem. I was talking to the DG and he said that they had reserved some rooms in Albany. But we found out that that weekend is Parents' Weekend at OSU. And those of you that have ever gone to OSU or have kiddos that went to OSU, there is no parking, period. And I mean, you would have to be hiking miles to get to the conference center. So I was so looking forward to meeting you in person, Christine. I really was.
Oh,
I know, bummer.
Well, and the,
I didn't realize that about parking, but thanks for the forewarning.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll probably just thumb it.
Yeah, if you see anybody with a Rotary badge on
Yeah, there you go.
with their thumb out,
Yeah.
stop it.
I might go up and become an Uber driver just for the weekend.
You could
There you
probably
go.
make some money.
Yeah,
I would pay, especially what's the weather going to be like? Oh, it's spring in Oregon. It should be great, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Let's see. We just had Jim and Vinnie McNeil join. And I think it's about 3 or 4 after, so I'm going to go ahead and start. Hi, Jim. I know you'll be at the celebration and the CTA, this club training assembly. I'm trying not to use jargon. But
Yeah.
do you know, Jim, about the parking situation? Jill just said that the parking is going to be terrible there because it's Parents' Weekend for OSU.
Well, it depends on how many parents drive to the parking lot that is across the street from the Hill Alumni Center.
So you don't
There's
know
a
either.
big parking garage. There's a parking garage right there by it. It depends on how many people show up driving up there. I'm not worried about it. I got a room over at the Garden Inn, so
Yeah.
right across the street. But
Well,
supposedly there's a parking garage there, 3 floors, so it should be okay.
luckily, my program that I'm giving is after lunch. So I think by after lunch, I ought to be able to find, show up, even if I have to do the hitchhike thing like somebody else was talking about. So, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Today is another membership forum. Thanks, you guys, for coming. Lots going on today and sort of a thin turnout, but that's the way things go. So I'm not too worried about that. We've got the best and the brightest here, right? Let's go around the room and introduce ourselves. We don't get take time to do that anymore. Tell us your name, because in case we can't read it on the screen, or if, like me, it was wrong. What club you're with and what town you are. Maybe if you work for a living, tell us what you do. So Steve, why don't you start?
Okay, I'm Steve Reed. I'm in the Rotary Club of Jefferson County, and that's in Madras, Oregon, about 50 miles north of Bend. I'm retired. I was a construction consultant for years. I recently took on the secretary position and then recently took on the president-elect position. So I'm a little busy right at this point. So, but things are moving in Madras.
Well, good for you, and thanks for your service. Robbie, how about you? Unmute. Unmute again.
It's not letting me unmute by my space bar. So, Robbie McGowan from Lakeview, Oregon, in the middle of beautiful nowhere. And like Steve, I am also secretary and president-elect. And so I will be seeing you at the club assembly and all the president-elect trainings.
Yes.
Going to
All
be
right.
there. My husband and I bought a business in Lakeview, and we manufacture sound booths. So for musicians or voiceover artists or for industries, universities. So that's what we do.
Well, thank you for that. Interesting line of work. Mimi, unmute.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Mimi Chenold. I'm the president of our Rotary Club, and that's Roseburg, Oregon. And I'm retired, and I will see you at the conference.
Okay, thank you. Janice, if you can unmute.
My name is Janice Payne, and thank goodness I'm not the secretary and only the president-elect. And I will see you all at the training too. I am also retired. I was a drug and alcohol counselor for the mentally ill. It was a dual diagnosis program, and I don't do that anymore, but I'm very active in my community here in Brookings.
Thank you. Diane.
Hello, everybody. Well, it sounds like I have something in common with several of you in that I can't decide what I want to do when I grow up. So I'm a retired Navy captain. I came home in 2011 and was the public health director for 6 years in my county. And now I'm at Road Community College as the director for workforce training and continuing ed. And I'm a president-elect and was interested in this session because it's a lot to take in pretty quickly.
Well, thanks for being here, Diane. It's really nice to know you. Mitch. Unmute. There you go. I still can't hear you. You're unmuted and I still can't hear you. Mitch is from the State of Jefferson E-Club, Steve, which is why I was confused. I'm talking for you, and he's a virtual sort of guy, so I'm surprised that we can't hear him. Are you going to be at the club training assembly? Oh man, I wanted to meet you. Okay, well, thanks. You're doing a good job miming. Jill, how about you? Can you unmute and see if we can hear you?
There we go. Good morning, everybody. I'm Jill Tompkins from Jacksonville, Applegate. And I've been in Rotary around 20 years, I think, and I've had every office and currently am membership. Been doing that for a while. I'm retired, spent a few years teaching high school and then went into the title and escrow business at First American Title. So I was marketing manager and now I'm retired and doing Rotary Zoom.
Thanks. And Bev.
Beverly Walker. I'm part of the Road Gateway Rotary in Grants Pass. And I am membership chair. And my husband and I do rentals. We have rentals and we take care of the rentals.
Probably don't have too many openings, do you?
We only have one right now. We have like, I think 16 units in one opening, but it's probably gone already.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't,
Thank
nobody
you.
leaves right now.
Yeah. Thank you, Patty.
Good morning. I am Patty Schultz and I am from the Springfield Rotary Club. I am currently the membership chair, just today, just elected as the new treasurer of our club. And I am a bank branch manager for Citizens Bank in Springfield, Oregon.
Wow, great. Thank you and welcome. And how about Patty Scott?
Good morning, everyone. Patty Scott. I'm in Coos Bay, Oregon, the Coos Bay North Bend Rotary Club celebrating 100 years. This year, the membership chair, been the membership chair for about 5 or 6 years because no one else will do it. And I'm on the board. I've been on the board for about 10 years and just got re-elected. I also chair the Gift of Literacy program that we do with the other Rotary clubs in Coos County. And when I'm not doing all that, I am the president at Southwestern Oregon Community College, which is Coos and Curry and Western Douglas counties is our district.
Keeps you on your toes. Lots of plates to spin. Thanks for being here. Vinny, can you hear me? Are you willing to tell us who you are? I'm not sure. I just let somebody in that's just a phone number, which never know what that might be. So I might. Jim Polk.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jim. I'm the district treasurer currently. Will be the GM. I'll be the DG for 23-24. I'm with the Rotary Club of Illinois Valley in Cave Junction, Oregon. We chartered the club in 2007. Done just about everything in the club, been an AG once, and I'll be doing the treasurer training at 10 o'clock, and I'll be joining the PE session at 11 for the budget process. Or I guess treasurer's at 2. I've got the president nominees at 10. So it should be a fun day, Saturday or Friday, and then Saturday we'll celebrate.
There you go. Well, thank you, guys. I don't usually take the time to do that, but it is kind of fun to put a little bit of history to a name and a face. Part of the idea of the forum is to get to know each other so you can reach out if you have questions, problems, solutions, because none of us are working in a vacuum. We have a vast network here of people and resources that are willing to help and can help, and maybe have even been through that and done it. So today we're going to be talking about communicating with our members. And this is something that has been done since the dawn of time. We started out communication by speaking, right? And then, we put petroglyphs on the side of cave walls. That's how we communicated. And then flash forward several centuries, we put a stamp on an envelope and mailed it with Pony Express, and that went off to somebody. And then we got the telephone, and how cool was that? That was a big resistance move. Oh, that's going to ruin communication. And so then we could reach out and call someone and speak. Then we started doing things like emails, where we could do blast emails and email more than just one person. And pretty soon we're emailing all of our members. And just because we email all of our members, does that mean that they are all reading our emails? No, that's the problem there. Let's see, I'm going to get this slideshow, and I just have a very few slides to show you. But how many of you get emails? A lot of emails. How many of you get too many emails?
Amen.
How many of you read every single word in all your emails?
I don't even read every single email.
You know what? All those valuable emails we send to our members, they don't read them either.
They get lost.
They get lost in the shuffle of all the mail that comes.
Yep.
We think we are telling them what they need to know, right? We need to plan the way we communicate with the flurry of emails that people get, or the communication that people get in mind. Why are we communicating with them? Is there a specific message we're trying to send to them? Now, how many of you have seen an email that goes on and on and on? You have to scroll through it like Gone with the Wind. You know what I mean? It's pages long. And if you read the first paragraph, that's pretty good, right? But how many of you read all the way to the end? Therein lies the problem. So what are we communicating in each one of our communications, and how do we do it? Sometimes we still communicate live. just like the old cavemen did in our meetings. Used to be back in the day when we had real meetings and when attendance was 90%, that a verbal communication in the form of an announcement would be great. And that's where a lot of our members got information. Email has pretty much replaced that, although we do verbal announcements in our clubs, we're not reaching the vast majority of our membership, because what percentage of membership shows up at your weekly meetings? Anybody want to throw out a number? Well, you have to unmute.
Yeah, about 45.
And I was thinking half.
On a good day, we get 60%.
That is a good day. A lot of clubs say 35%.
Wow.
So you're not really reaching your membership when you're communicating verbally. So email is the best next alternative. But how do we do it? When do we do it? And who does it? Sometimes in our club, we have a newsletter that is award-winning. In fact, it won the district newsletter award last year. It's 13 pages long and it's sent as an attachment to an email. So now you got to get the email, you got to open the email, you got to click on the attachment to read this 13 pages. You going to do that? Nobody wants to say no, but I can tell you, our readership is really slim. They might look at the first page where the programs are, but a lot of it is boilerplate. And then they skip through a few pages of boilerplate to get to the part where there's events coming up or fundraisers or something that they really care about. And then there's about 7 more pages of boilerplate. So we've come to a time now after 20 years of the same formatted e-newsletter that it's time to, that person's retiring and we're reinventing our plan. How do we want to, oh, and I'm, by the way, I'm Chris Wall. You can call me Chris. I'm from Eugene Southtown Rotary, past president there, past president from the Newport Club, and I'm the district membership, what? Chair. Yes, thanks. I can't remember what I'm called. So when I say R, I mean Eugene Southtown. So we started thinking, what do we need to do to get our emails read, to get this communication that we really want to tell people read? Well, the first thing is we got to respect their time. Brevity is really, really important. In fact, I kind of liked the Twitter metaphor of 140 words. It's really constraining, but Twitter has been popular for a reason. The attention span of people is tell me what I need to know and tell it to me quick, because I'm not going to read through all your prose. And some of the emails you probably get that you don't read are written by people that think they're writing really well. You know, oh, everybody's going to love my turn of phrase here. Well, no, they don't have time for your turn of phrase. The other thing is, what are we telling them? Do we tell them what we want them to know or what they want to know? We've got to hook them with what they care about, and we're not always good about that. Even when I was first on the membership committee, and that membership training was all about, here's what they need to know. They don't care what we think they need to know. They want to know what they want to know. And we've got to turn our thought to the way that they want to learn, to hear the information, okay? The timing that we communicate, we talked last month about surveys and getting membership input through surveys. And this goes for the same as surveys. What's the best time of day to reach your audience? What's the best day to reach your audience? And how does that connect to the topic? So let's say, I think Mondays and Fridays are a bad time to email people. Because Monday, what are you doing? You're catching up from a weekend and it's Monday, right? Friday, forget it. I'm getting ready to leave for the weekend. So don't talk to me on Friday. I'm trying to wrap up my work week so I can get out of here. So that leaves Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So then when's the best time of day to talk to people or connect with them or to communicate to them? Well, not first thing in the morning for the same reason Monday's not good, and not at 4:30 in the afternoon for the next reason that Friday's no good. Try mid-morning or mid-afternoon. And some people even say try lunch hours, but when you're emailing people, you can look, especially with Pmail, you can look at how many people read your emails or opened them, and you can get an idea of what your success rate is. Do you look at those, any of you?
Mhm.
Mimi?
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, you can get on Pmail, and there's a readership thing, and I think there's going to be some Pmail training. Is there, Jim, at the Club Training Assembly?
And what is Pmail?
Pmail is Rotary's version of mail merge, where you can send one email out to your whole club. Or you got a Pmail from me yesterday about this meeting. I sent that out on Pmail. I said I wanted this email to go to all club presidents, all club president-elects, and all club membership committees, chairs. And I wanted it to go to all the assistant governors and all of the leadership team at the district level. So I kind of wiped through it, and then everybody gets a nice personal little, dear Mimi, like I'm really thinking specifically of you, right? But there were about 200 people on that email chain. But I sent it out at 10 in the morning. That I had to do on a Monday because of this third bullet point here, the connection to the topic. The connection to the topic of a Tuesday morning membership meeting is, if I sent it out last Thursday, how many of you would remember it by this Tuesday? People's memory is pretty short term. So I try to send things out right before. We put it in the district newsletter a week before, but then I try to remind everybody the day before. So that's my method to my madness. Whether it works for you or not, I offer it for you to try. Now, if we had a fundraiser on a Thursday evening, we'd probably put something in a advance notice type of an e-newsletter, if your club has one, and we're going to be talking about that. But then the day before, it would be good to remind people because they're busy, right? Who's receiving your email? You know, we started sending our emails to more than just our members, some of them. If we're having a fundraiser, if we need volunteers for something, if we need people to know about an event we're having, then we've gathered these names and these emails into a list, and they're kind of sectioned. So we have our member list, we have a potential member list, we have donors, people that have actually given us money. Those are important people to keep in the loop. People that have attended things, like a couple of weeks ago, we had Pints for Polio. And who else might you invite or keep in the loop? Who else, like potential volunteers or friends of Rotarians? So don't just think inside our membership box when you're communicating to members. I was looking this morning, we were supposed to have a speaker today, and anyway, you're looking at her. Wasn't the plan, but that's what I call flying by the seat of my pants. And so I looked up, what good is a subject line? What's a good subject line? And the good subject line that gets an email open addresses the reader's interest. It uses some kind of a hook. You might even put their name in it. I don't know how to do that. It might stimulate some curiosity. You've already won. What have I already won? Like you wouldn't fall for that, right? And makes use of that subject line space because sometimes that's the only thing that gets read. So then I went back and I looked at my subject line for this program today. That sucks, doesn't it? Yeah, it tells you what it is, but it's the same subject line I used last month and the month before and the month before that. Let's talk about this for a second. District membership forum tomorrow. I'm going to break you guys. I mean, I'm going to stop my share here. I'm going to break you into 3 groups maybe. And I want you to help me reinvent that subject line. What would make you want to read my email that says, hey, there's a district membership forum tomorrow? Because through that, we can learn to create our own email subject lines. And this isn't just for Rotary, you know, you can try this with your work emails. So I'm going to create this room and I'll give you, oh no, I don't want one. Eek. Stop that. No. Options. Ah, that's what I did. Okay. There we go. I'll only give you 5 minutes. So come up with something better than district membership forum tomorrow. Okay? Come back, have somebody report what you came up with. You should be invited to join. You invited, Steve? There you go. you're back.
We're back,
You're back.
whether you want us or not.
I want you. You're taking time out of your busy day, which I appreciate. And Lakeview, I've got to tell you my Lakeview story. I was in a hurry to get down there and visit somebody, and an elderly woman who likes things to be on time, you know, on schedule. And I was held up by somebody with all their cows crossing the road. It's like, oh, we don't need stoplights. We have cows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome to Lakeview.
Yeah. But it was cool. It was just like a flashback into another era, you know.
Yep.
And that was business and a working day for these people that were moving cows from point A to point B.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like everybody's back, if I'm reading that right. And I'm always afraid to close that. So what'd you come up with?
Well, I guess I can start.
Okay, and then Bev, you'll be next.
One of them liked your topic because it was the same topic every time. She knew what it was about and she knew it was from you. So that works. When I send out emails, if I need an RSVP, I always put that in the subject line, RSVP needed, and they know they have to respond to something. When Vinnie puts something out, she puts, the date of the meeting and some important information in the subject line. So even if they don't read the rest of the email, they've got the gist of when the next email is.
Good deal. Thank you.
And the only other thing to come up with a difference for your subject line is for people who've already RSVP'd, looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday.
That's the reminder.
Yeah.
And Bev, you had your hand up too.
Yeah, we liked your thing. It wasn't, it's very descriptive and everything. We like your subject line, but Mitch thought of a catchy one, and we all think Rotary should be in the subject line, and then how to grab your members, ? Is the next thing. And then, and because we said it doesn't need membership because of the fact that we have members in the question. So that's what we went with. But
I like that. And I was wondering about putting the topic or just some little abbreviation of what the topic is, because all of our membership forums are about membership. So when I say membership forum, it's like, to myself, I'm thinking, well, duh, So if I said communicating with them, or last month it was surveys or running hybrid meetings or something that tells them a little teeny bit about what it is about. What do you think about that?
I think that's a great idea.
Yes, I agree.
a quickie.
It's like a teaser, if you can put something as a teaser out there, that's going to make them want to open your email too.
Right. Sometimes I've done that in the title of the forum. Like I said, anyway, I had a really good excuse why I didn't this month. But
Chris, like Bev said, for us that try to come every month, we're fiddle, that's all we need. But if you want to maybe grab some new members to attend, that might be a good way to do.
Right. Now I've heard from two of the groups. Which group did I not hear from? Janice?
Yeah, one of the things that we talked about was having the date and time of the meeting in the subject line. Just so that if we're busy and we don't get to read the rest of the email, at least we've got the date and the time and the membership meeting, like we know what meeting it is. It's the district membership meeting with the date and the time in the line. One of our, Diane, suggested that we have a little, catch at the front, like, you don't want to miss this, or, you really want to come to this one. Something.
Something that an responds to their pain. It's like, losing members. Let's
you
talk about recruitment, or
Right?
or retention, I guess would be better for that specific hook. But we're so inundated with hook lines and emails that sometimes it's just like, oh, that's a hook line. One thing that Patty Scott mentioned that relates back to one of the bullet points in that bullet points that I gave you, is that who it's from. If you respect people's time, you don't send long emails and you don't send a lot of emails. And when I was president last year, that became difficult because I had to send 3 emails a week just for what I was doing. And then every now and then people go, oh, well, you know how to use Pmail. Would you Pmail everybody this message or remind them about that message? And I had to say, no, we need different people to email out, because I don't want to be that person that's emailing everybody every day, because pretty soon you won't read it. So respecting people's time and keeping it short. Jill.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because our club is exactly the opposite. We had a couple of years ago, we had a whole bunch of chatty Cathys that would send out copious emails and, at a drop of a hat. And everybody would say, please stop sending all these emails. So what we did was once a week on a Wednesday, we have our secretary send out one email consistently, same time, same day. And in it, she puts what anybody wants to announce. She does it with bullet points. She does it concisely, upcoming program, just one line, not a description of what they're going to talk about or anything. And we have almost 100% openings of that one email. And then if, like, I'm on the fundraising committee, well, of course, that's going to have to be directed to specific people. But that gets open too, because all of a sudden, the amount of emails that people just thought, oh my Lord, what are they talking about now? Is really basically down to 1 per week. And then if you're involved in a special project. So it's working for us with that.
Raise your hand if you would like to get your hands on a copy of Jill's email that they send out each week.
Why not?
Jill, would you send that to me today, and I will send it out with a recap tomorrow?
Yes.
That way we can just kind of take a sneak peek of how you do it, because hey, if she's getting 100% reader response, I don't have to tell you, but that's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty close. She's sending it out tomorrow, so I'll send it out when I get it tomorrow. How's that? Does that work?
Can you send out last week's? Because I like to send out the recap tomorrow morning.
Okay, I will.
And it's okay if it's a week old. We just need the idea.
Okay.
So our newsletter has been at Southtown has been evolving and winning awards for 20 or more years. And it's grown through that time. Every time somebody had a good idea, it was added and added and added. It's sort of like, the Tax Simplification Act. When's that going to happen? No, things get added, but they don't get subtracted. So if you, I don't want to have hands, but if you were doing your communication with your membership the same way you have for fill in the blank for years, okay? If it's been 20 years, if it's been 10, if it's been 5, Is it time to take a fresh look? Now, what we did with our email is our email newsletters called the Spinoff, and our Spinoff editor would send out an email that says, "Hi, everybody, happy Wednesday. Here's our Spinoff and enjoy it." And then you had to click on a link to read the PDF. And the reason it was in a PDF is because when it was originally invented, it was invented to be printed and laid on the tables at the meetings
Right.
and taken home and read, but nobody does that anymore. So when you get the email now, you have to open the email, then you have to click the link to get the PDF. Then you got to scroll through 14 pages. So what we have come up with as a new idea, instead of an email that says click this link to a PDF, the email itself is very visually stimulating. It has our logo on it, so you know it's coming from our club. And it has, basically, we send out one each week for the tomorrow's program. Tomorrow's program is da 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 da, because we try to have really good programs, so that's the hook. And then we have a few bullet points, like Jill said, underneath, that have upcoming events. But those events, there's not much detail. There's just there's a link to go back that takes you back to our website, and the website has all the details of what's going on. So we really rethought that so that if people don't care about Pints for Polio, say they don't like beer, or they're busy the day of our fundraiser, they don't have to scroll through that information to read it. They just don't click that link. But they still always get that touch from us each week about here's what the program is, so they have that connection. Or volunteers needed for the hospital project or for the food box project or whatever your projects are. You know, you can just put little links in there that take them to more information. And I think that's a little bit more respectful of the time. But let's talk about some other ideas that you might have besides Jill's works really well. But how else can you communicate with your members? What successes have you seen? I'll break you up. I'll break you into groups if I have to.
So coming into my, being president, one of the things that we have not done is we have about half or 45% something of the people showing, but there has been no letters at all. And so we've basically lost communication with half of our members. And so I want to send out a survey because I want to know what are we not doing? I mean, what could we do that would move them to a point where they just couldn't miss that meeting? So that's kind of the first thing. And then there's a lot of things in clubs that, 10% do all the work and the other 90% it's a lunch club. And so I'm going to start what I call the ask. And so I'm going to ask people to be involved in specific things, and I'm going to communicate with them individually. If they can't do it, all I have to do is say no, but I don't ever want them to say I wasn't asked. And then I'm going to restructure our projects. Our projects have been going for a long time, and usually one person takes care of it all. And then they get burned out and somebody has to reinvent the wheel. We need more people involved in the projects, and that's part of the ask. And then firing up Facebook again, because I want to not only reach and have that information available for our members, but also for the community. When we have speakers come in, we would invite the community and hopefully gain some members through that too. That's my plan.
Those sound really good. And you brought up something that I glossed right over, and that's our social media page. And especially when we're talking about the younger audience, and even us, if you're a grandparent, you probably keep track of the grandkids on Facebook. How many of your clubs have a social media page? Oh, almost all of them. How many of them have a website? How many of you have a website?
Mm, eh.
Okay, Robbie's giving it the social media pages are a lot easier, seems to be, to keep up and to keep current. But you really want to make sure that your about page is current, so that people that log on for the first time that don't know anything about you or Rotary or what your projects are, you can give them that quick idea. Contact information is really an important thing too, because when you're communicating with your members on social media or on the website, you're not just communicating with your members. You're communicating with people that just might have found you some way, and they might be interested in, well, what is Rotary? They might think of Mazda cars, you know. No, the Rotary engine, no, that's not Rotary. What is it? Is it an old boys lunch club? What is it? You know, we assume people know, they don't know. So we really have to gear even our own members. We were talking at a district meeting recently about the CTE, and somebody at the district level said, well, what's the CTE? And the CTE is the Club Training Assembly. Well, we thought everybody should know that. Well, how many acronyms do you know? Patty, do you have a few in the community college world?
Yeah, and CTE is totally something different. It's called
Well, it
Career
used to be the
Technical
DT.
Education.
Oh,
I thought it was
okay.
CTA. Is CTE and CTA different things?
You're right, it is A.
Oh,
See,
okay.
I even screwed it up. And it used to be the DTA, which was the District Training Assembly. And then somebody in the marketing department decided, oh, we should call it the Club Training Assembly, not the District Training Assembly. And if you notice, a lot of big corporations, or they'll have marketing departments come up with these new ideas that are going to fix everything, but they just add more confusion. So the best way to deal with acronyms is what?
Say the words.
Say the words. Are we really so pressed for time that we can't say Club Training Assembly? And even at that, who knows what it is?
Well, it's a little more descriptive than CTE
Yeah, especially when E is wrong.
or CTA. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remembered it.
But and then the other thing that they found out with the CTA is that a lot of people think that that's only important to go to if you're a district officer or district chair, or at least a club president. Well, no, it's important to go to if you're just interested in Rotary. If you just want to know more about what does the secretary do, or what does the president-elect do. So our communication, we think of with our members, but it applies to how we communicate within ourselves, because if you use jargon, you're going to use it out there. So how do we communicate within ourselves? How do we communicate to our members? And how do we communicate to the world? Where do we draw the line? Where's the line in communication? It's all got to be easy to understand, succinct, because people are busy, and targeted. So we're not telling them everything we want them to know, but everything they want to know. What are you trying to tell me right now? You got 2 seconds of my time. I'll pay attention for that long, and then I'm off to my other 27 emails in my email folder. You know, your inbox, if it looks like mine or anybody else's, is ridiculous. And Steve, you'll be getting lots of emails now that you're going to go into the president. Oh, wait, you get them from Rotary International, you get them from the district, and of course you've got your club emails, and that's just in Rotary. You know, forget the rest of your world. So let's go around the room and sum up what you might do differently, that what's your take home from today that you might do differently when you go back to your club? Who would offer to start? And then I'll go around the room. Thank you, Robbie.
Okay, well, I was just about to put my hand up anyway.
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah. Well, I think we do pretty well with one email a week with bullet points and our program on it. But I think the one thing that I will do is go back to our social media and make sure the about page is up to date. Because I've never even looked at that. And I think that's a very valid point. And that is my biggest takeaway from today.
Thank you. How about you, Patty? Scott?
Well, I don't do a lot of communicating to the whole club because I'm membership, and I'm pretty much communicating with the membership committee. But what I tend to do from these sessions is take ideas forward to the board and to the president and see where it goes. So some of what was discussed, she just does one email a week. So we're already kind of doing that, and it's very nicely done. But that can change when there's a new president. So, but keeping them short is, I think, one of the best things.
Thank you. Mimi?
Yeah, we used to have a bulletin that we'd put out every week, and when our communications director had resigned from Rotary, it kind of fell on me, and I started doing it. It was easy because there was a template, and then finally I just said, forget this, there's just all this stuff that who even reads it? So I just started doing bullet points, but instead, it's probably still too wordy. So I've got to work on that. I think the interesting challenge that I always have is to know exactly what they want to know. I mean,
I was gonna say, that's something, Steve, you're talking about surveying your members. Ask them what they want to know, and typically what I've heard is they want to know the programs coming up, volunteer opportunities, in other words, what's going on with the projects, and any kind of events that we're having. Those are the key things. The rest of it, if they want to know who's on what committee, link to that, go let them get it somewhere else. But
okay.
We have a couple more minutes. Jill, do you have a takeaway?
Yes, we actually stopped doing our bulletin because we were one of those clubs that had it as a placemat every week, and it was very effective. But then with COVID, that kind of went away. But what we did this year, and I'm so excited about it, we actually hired a media guru to do our website. It's very economical. She doesn't charge that much. We just had this old school website, and it was, the kids had already grown up. It was that bad, here they are 8 years old and they're going to college. So yeah, it was not kept up well. And so we've used her for a lot of our posters and a lot of our media things. And so we just said, you know what, take the ball and run with it. Everybody that goes to an event is sending her pictures. She picks out the best ones and posts it. So it's hopefully, in fact, our fundraiser is coming up in May. And for the first time ever, all tickets are being bought through our social media. So
yeah,
we're excited.
We've done that too.
Yeah.
Steve, Bev, Mitch, and Janice, I'm running out of time. I do want to end at 11. Anybody have something they're burning to tell us? I'm sorry, I ran out of time. Well, excuse me, go ahead, Steve.
I would just say the one thing I'm going to take out of this is being succinct. I have a tendency to go into too much detail, and
Well, look at us. I tried to give us 5 minutes to wrap up and I only made it through half of us. What does that tell you about Rotarians and being succinct?
Yeah, that's tough.
That's not our strong suit. Yeah, but I am pretty dogmatic about trying to end on time. So I appreciate your time. Check out the Jacksonville Applegate Rotary Club online. Check out their new website. Jill will be sending me their your newsletter or your little e thing, and I will forward that tomorrow. Of course, this meeting is being recorded, so you can share it. We do have a recording of last month's meeting on surveys, Steve, that's on our YouTube channel. You'll get the whole channel with all of our history of topics at these meetings, okay? But for now, I'm gonna say goodbye. Thanks, y'all, for being here, and keep those communications going, okay?
Thanks
Bye.
very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.